What's up, PUBG fanatics? It's Glass, and I wanted to make a video about some of the news that's come out this week with PUBG. Um, with fail. You know what I mean? It takes a while, man. It does. You just go over and over. It's all right to make small mistakes, but when you just completely forget what you're talking about, that's when you got to do it over. What's up, PUBG fanatics? It's Glass, and I wanted to make a video this week about some of the news that's come out in regards to PUBG. More specifically, the Ask Me Anything session that was conducted on Reddit this week by PlayerUnknown himself on the PUBG subreddit. And I've tried to highlight some of the more interesting questions that were answered on there. I have read it up in the background here, but over here I have the questions which I thought were really interesting. With the first one being regarding the blue electric field, what about making it harder to see while you're in it and making it slower but deal more damage? And PlayerUnknown's response to that was that they just finished meeting internally where they discussed the changes to the blue zone system and their hopes to make it more fair. And they hope to start testing those changes soon, but they have no ETA on when that will actually happen. The next question, which I thought was really interesting, was what is the plan on regarding bullet penetration? Now, everyone knows that shooting out of windows right now in PUBG is AIDS, and you can't kill anybody that's in water. And so the question was kind of general about bullet penetration, and the response was the gunplay team has been working on the penetration system, and while they don't have a specific information yet on what they want to do, they're going to reveal more about that in the coming months. So kind of vague, doesn't really help us out much, but I guess at least they're working on it. The next question that I thought was interesting was, do you have any goals or plans in mind for a map pool long term? So what is their game plan for years to come and how many maps they'd like to have on PUBG? And they answered they do have plans for maps. And obviously, we know about the desert map that they have coming soon. But then he said they also are working on an Adriatic theme map, and I'm assuming that's Adriatic Sea. So, which is kind of interesting how that's actually going to be set up. But right now, they have no other maps planned. So, at least the desert map, we've seen images of the snow maps. But then they also talk about this Adriatic themed map, which they're working on. The last thing that I actually thought was really interesting is a question was asked later on down in the subreddit about a night scenario, what their thoughts are about a dark map similar to the one we just got in the foggy map. And the answer to that was that he has actually seen a prototype from his team setting a nighttime setting internally, and he thinks that we'll be very surprised on how good it looks. There's no ETA on when that may be added to the game yet, but it is a work in progress, which is kind of weird to think about because they've kind of gotten a lot of backlash about the foggy map. So moving forward with a dark map, I have no clue how that would work, if they would add night vision, what they would do, but it's kind of interesting to think that they would actually be going forward with something like that, given the criticism they've had for the foggy map. Now I'll link the Ask Me Anything session from Reddit in the description, so you can go through and read the entire thing. There are more interesting stuff that I'm sure you would be interested in, but these are just the things that I saw. The other thing that I wanted to, in terms of PUBG news, was today there was a mention of the 3 new vehicles that they were working on, and they actually showed a image of the first vehicle, and as you can see, it looks like the Volkswagen van. It kind of reminds me of the Scooby-Doo van from the childhood, but this is I guess kind of neat, just a cool little aesthetic change to the car system in the game. But this was another thing that came out in the Ask Me Anything session on Reddit. So just a little bit of news for PUBG this week. He also touched on that they're not working on any other system besides the vaulting right now in terms of jumping mechanics. He talked about how they Changed the key binding system just because it should take some skill to actually use that instead of just binding it to a key and letting everyone do it, because the people that weren't doing that had a severe disadvantage. And other than that, it was just general questions on what he liked about the game, how he liked being the creative director. So definitely go check it out. And like I said, the link will be in the description. I hope you liked the video. If you do, give me the thumbs up. Let me know what I can do to improve. And stay tuned for more news, tips, and chicken dinners. Thanks.